This guy is a wrecking machine, and he's hungry.
All of you chumps are gonna bow. I'm gonna show you how great I am.
Money. You're listening to The Real Estate Debate with Mr. Credit on AM 760 KFMB. If you'd like to contact Mr. Credit, visit mrcredit.org.
All right, welcome to The Real Estate Debate. Mr. Credit here. And JJ, I thought you were going to have your own microphone for the first time in Real Estate Debate history, but it just didn't work out that way. How are you feeling about today's show, my friend?
I think that we have a good group in here, and I'm looking forward to judging it. I hope everybody brought their A game.
Well, yeah, we always hope that, right? We do have a very interesting group of people in the studio today. So we've got the best golfer I've ever played golf with is here today in the studio, John Lieber. We've got an undefeated Real Estate Debate champion in Brian Kane in the studio today. We've got
solid 1 for 1.
We've got a supermodel, super realtor in Nicole Hazelton in here today. And we've also got Jason Stewart, who owns a fighting organization. So we've got a really interesting group of folks in here. Of course, JJ is my longtime co-host, John Giroux, with Synergy One Lending at AskJJNow.com. Now, you as the judge, of course, we are implementing one new thing today, which is the challenge flag.
I like it.
So the challenge flag, I may or may not throw it. We'll see if it comes up. But if someone makes a point and I can see they're scoring, but I want to kind of not call BS necessarily, but say, you know what, I think you need to elaborate to really get your points there. I'm going to throw the challenge flag. You hear the referee whistle, which will sound like this. That means someone's getting challenged. As soon as you hear that, just know that you're going to need to back up whatever it is you're saying with a little something more in order to get your points. So, JJ, as the judge, you kind of all the weight is on you, right?
That's great.
When it comes to this thing,
Definitely.
Do you have any feelings? Because we've never judged anyone that's in the studio.
That's true.
Before, how do you feel at being, at the beginning here?
Well, sometimes like that late, if you had a horse race, the horse that comes in late, just you're not really sure about, kind of takes it in, and maybe Jason rolled in late, but he's hopped up for it.
Okay. Not the first time he's been called the dark horse.
Well, Jason, by the way, is stepping in today. Off a last second cancellation. So I want to talk about one thing, JJ, before we introduce our contestants and get the debate started, which is the New Path Loan Program that you have exclusively over at Synergy One Lending. Tell us kind of in brief what the New Path program is. I know it's designed to help people who can't buy through traditional financing. How does that work and who is it good for?
Yeah, real fast. It's a great opportunity, especially for the real estate community to take advantage of it. Let's say you're credit challenged, and credit challenge could be a short sale, foreclosure, bankruptcy, could be one day out of those items, or maybe you're income challenged, self-employed, don't claim all your income, which, I think probably everybody in this room is self-employed and probably doesn't claim all their income or writes some of it off.
I claim all my income. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, just uses the tax the tax system to our advantage, right? So to lessen the reportable income.
Yeah, you got to.
Which doesn't always help qualifying for a loan. Or maybe you went from a W-2 job to a self-employed job. Any of those things. Maybe you have a low credit score and you just can't qualify for additional financing. This is a rent-to-own program where you actually go out and find the home as a buyer that you want to purchase. There are parameters on the home: 3-bedroom, 2-bath, single family, detached
so who
townhouse.
buys it then? Because if I'm rent-to-owning,
we are going to buy the house
Synergy One,
for you.
Is it a cash
Correct.
deal then?
It's a cash transaction.
So you buy the house for the person who can't qualify now in cash. You do the lease to own.
Yep, 6-year lease to own agreement.
Okay. And
you have 6 years to get your stuff together to qualify. Now, here's the cool thing. Anytime in that 6 years, the appreciation goes up. You have $100,000 appreciation built up and you want to move on. You just don't want to option to purchase that property. You can option to sell the property without ever owning it officially.
But do you get all the profit?
You get all the profit.
What?
Yep.
So, okay.
It's pretty cool.
I don't qualify. I want to buy. I buy with your money. You pay cash for it. And you don't get any piece of that pie when I sell? Even if I can't qualify for a loan?
Well, here's the thing. So we're paying cash for it. You're going to structure the purchase price on your exit in one of a few different options. But
Gotcha.
Let's say the best option is we're going to reap 1.5% appreciation on what we paid for that house. We pay $400,000. You're going to pay us $406,000 for the next 6 years, anytime in the next 6 years.
Wow.
It's a pretty sweet deal.
Unbelievable. The New Path Loan Program, exclusively with Synergy One Lending. You can go to AskJJNow.com, or you can call JJ if you're interested in learning more. 760-522-2298 is the number. Great stuff, JJ, and good judging
Thank you.
Let's introduce our contestants. We've got, I mentioned him earlier, the best golfer I've ever played golf with. I think he was 5 under after 7 holes. John Lieber is here from Remax and JohnLieber.com. What's up, man?
Hey, not much. Doing great today. Thanks.
Yeah, no golf balls, no golf clubs in here today. So it's real estate debate. How you feeling?
Feeling good. Not quite as good as the golf course with you, but still feeling pretty good.
You made me not want to play anymore. It's like, man, this is I can't. I never want to play golf again. You ruined me for golf. It's like I'll never be that good. But I appreciate you being here today, and good luck on
Thanks
the
for
debate.
having me.
You may need it because you're up against an undefeated champion. Brian Kane is here from Keller Williams in La Jolla. He's the broker owner there from BrianKaneRealEstate.com. What's up, Brian?
Hey, how you doing? Thanks for having me on again.
Doing great. Love to have you back. You know, you're the only undefeated real estate debate champion that's left. Everyone has lost who was undefeated at one point as a champion, has lost somewhere along the way. Do you think you're going to be able to continue that today?
I'm going to set some trends.
You're going to continue to
That's right.
set the trend?
Exactly. We're going to see if I can go 2 for 2.
2 for 2.
Yeah.
Well, good luck today, sir. You know, I mentioned her earlier. I called you a supermodel. Nicole, did that make you feel uncomfortable?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I think you deserve it. You look fantastic, by the way.
Thank you, sir.
Very professional. Nicole Hazelton is here from Hazelton Associates, yoursdhome.com. You just went out on your own.
I did go out on my own.
How's that feel?
It feels amazing.
Yeah, so you're doing your own thing.
Yeah, free as a bird.
Down in IB.
Down in IB, and my office is downtown. Mm-hmm.
Office is downtown. You really like the IB area as far as value for beach community.
Absolutely.
You're a big IB person. Mm-hmm. And I will take you up on the happy hour down there at some point.
You should.
Guaranteed. Good luck.
But you have never golfed with me yet.
I haven't. But if you want to, are you good?
Well, so-so.
So-so. Okay.
You can golf with the both of us and then feel really good.
Don't golf with him, okay? Also, filling in last second today, my good buddy for many years, Jason Stewart, is here from Stewart Estates and Keller Williams in Eastlake. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me again.
Thanks for stepping up. Now, you got the topics just an hour ahead of time. Most people have a few days to look at these things. Do you feel like you're at a disadvantage as a result of that?
Might be at a disadvantage, but I'll make up for it with the gift of gab, hopefully. Lots of knowledge that I just, with these questions, you're 10 years of expertise hopefully will back me up on some of them.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to be asking you anything about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu today.
Oh, see,
but if I were,
I could have winged real easy.
Then you would be in great shape. Jason owns a fight organization called Epic Fighting. You've probably seen it somewhere around town. They've been doing shows every couple months for the last few years. Epicfighting.com is the website there. If you're an MMA fan, check it out.
If I get lost for word, it's because JJ is literally choking me out.
All right. Well, let's get to take the temperature of the market. We want to know the truth.
I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
We can handle the truth, and we look to our in-studio experts to give it to us every week right here on the Real Estate Debate. So, John Lieber, you will be starting this segment off. You'll have about a minute or so. How would you describe the current state of the San Diego real estate market with one word and why?
I'm going to say stable.
Okay.
But there's a little bit of a caveat to that in that it feels uncertain. And I think all of us would agree that we're just waiting to see what happens next. And, the trend we've seen so far is about 3,000 homes a month selling in San Diego. So we've got about a 3-month supply. I just pulled up some MLS info today, and it looks like October is going to be significantly lower than that. We're down about 20 to 25% in home volume sold for that month. So
about 2,500 homes sold this month?
About 2,000. And I expect a little bit of a bump in closings today and tomorrow to push that up a little bit. So I didn't want to say we're a third off. But I think the slowdown that we've all felt the last couple of months is finally taking shape in the form of not as many homes sold for this month. So with that said, it's finally catching up. Homes are taking longer to sell.
So it's stable, but you feel a little pause, kind of a calm before the potential storm.
A little bit because of the time of year we're getting into,
and the inventory,
but also the market's slowing a bit.
Okay, good stuff from John Lieber. Brian Kane, how would you describe the current state of the San Diego market? One word and why?
I can't go off one word. I'm going to say sunny with a chance of rain. Sunny with a chance of rain. I think if it was one word, I would say San Diego.
Okay.
I think we've got a healthy market. I would agree with John that I think we're in a healthy market right now. However, the hit is shifted. And when I mean healthy, I mean balanced. So we're not necessarily advantaging the sellers. We're not advantaging the buyers. We're really in a balanced, stable market, healthy market. So I'd say sunny with a chance of rain in that in the last 6 months, we've seen a major increase in inventory. So if you go back to this time last year even, we had about 7,500, 7,000 homes under contract, either short sale or traditional sale, and only 5,500 actives, meaning we had more buyer demand than we had listings. That's an unbalanced market, right? That is advantage seller.
Totally.
And folks who own homes love that. Property values are going up, equity is increasing, things of that nature. Where we sit today is, we're sitting at around 8,500 active homes on the market, and as we heard earlier, less than 4,000 homes, under contract in total. So if you look at that as far as absorption rate goes, if we stopped listing homes today, with the demand that we have, it would take 2 to 2.5 months to actually, get through the inventory that we have. And in San Diego, if you have less than 3 months inventory, you're sitting still in a seller's market or a balanced market. But with the increased inventory and with the declining demand, mostly because most of the investor population is pulled out of the marketplace, a lot of the cash investors, institutional investors who made up a good, 25 to 30% of the buyers, they're gone now, but not completely, but they've really withdrawn.
Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, Brian, but I got to move along. So sunny with a chance of rain.
Sunny with a chance of rain.
Final answer. Okay, Nicole Hazelton, how would you describe the current state of the San Diego real estate market? One word and why?
I think it's always sunny in San Diego, so I have to go with fair since you took balanced. I did some research on the multiple listing service as well, and right now we're sitting at over 9,200 listings in San Diego County. And even though we're made up of so many different micro markets in San Diego that are vastly different as far as their inventory and supply and demand, we're selling, like you mentioned, a little over 2,000 probably in the last 30 days. So we're still at about 16% rate of absorption, and 26% of rate of absorption is normal. It's a fair and balanced normal market between supply and demand. So we're still sitting in a seller's market. Things are looking up in my experience. I think it's time to re-educate buyers that a property could be on the market for longer than 30 days. And there's not necessarily anything wrong with that because we do have 3.7 months of inventory left in the county.
Yeah. Okay. No, that makes a lot of sense to me. So you're going with fair. Fair. Okay. It's a fair market according to Nicole Hazelton. Jason Stewart, how would you describe the current state of the San Diego market? One word and why?
One word, I'd probably have to say uncertain. I mean, right now we are at a point where our interest rate's going to go up. Our price is going to go down. Are they going to continue to go up? I talk to my expert friends, and when I call expert, I mean in real estate, someone who's maybe bought over 100 homes in the last couple of years, bought and sold over 100 homes, or people who invest very heavily in the market and they watch everything and they've followed trends for over a decade. And half of them think that, we might see a correction again and the prices will start to drop. Half of them think that we're going to stay stable for a long time and then we're going to see some steady increase, which would be healthy. So, it's been a seller's market for so long. Right now we're close to even. I'd say it's a slight seller's market, but it's not 10, 20 offers on a property anymore. You're lucky to have 2 to 5. So, it's hard to say what's going to happen next year.
Uncertain.
I'd say uncertain.
Yeah. No, that's interesting. All right, coming up, we'll give you the scores, and we're going to have the lightning round right here on the Real Estate Debate, therealestatedebate.com. You are listening to AM 760 KFMB. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the Real Estate Debate with Mr. Credit on AM 760 KFMB.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for hanging out with us on your Sunday afternoon. Mr. Credit here. Of course, you can listen to all the Real Estate Debate shows on therealestatedebate.com. JJ, give us a score update real quick.
Quick score. We got a double tie. We have Brian and Nicole at the top at 4 points each, and John and Jason right behind them at 3 points each. Very close match. Looking forward to the speed round.
Oh, nice. Great stuff. Okay, so anybody's game still here as we go to the lightning round. Or, I'm sorry. No, this is the rapid fire segment. Lightning round is next. So we'll be starting with you, Brian Kane. Recently, a man who owns a condo in the downtown development called The Mark was fined over $100,000 for breaking the rules of the HOA. Help our listeners determine if an HOA is right for them by filling in the blank to this sentence. You should not buy a home with an HOA if...
You're a madam running an escort service.
Bonus points for humor. Nicole Hazelton, you should not buy a home with an HOA if...
If you have a large breed or several animals.
Okay. Jason Stewart, you should not buy a home with an HOA if...
You don't play well with others.
Okay. John Lieber, you should not buy a home with an HOA if.
You don't want a retiree telling you what color you can paint your front door.
I stole mine.
Did you really? Brian Kane, you should not buy a home with an HOA if.
You're a retiree wanting to keep your cash outlay to a minimum due to the HOA fees.
Due to the HOA fees. Interesting financial point he made there. Nicole Hazelton, you should not buy a home with an HOA if.
If you hang your laundry to dry outside.
Now you got mine.
Jason Stewart, you should not buy a home with an HOA if.
The complex has amenities that you're not going to use.
Oh, okay. There you go. You're paying for it. Better use it. John Lieber, you should not buy a home with an HOA if.
You don't want to hear your neighbors, kids, dogs, walking, etc.
Ooh, okay, I'm going to have to throw the challenge flag here. So I need you to explain that because
I'm referring specifically to condominiums,
Yeah.
where you're going to hear the guy in the room right next door, you're going to hear the dog barking, you're going to hear everything else.
Okay, all right. I'll leave that one up to our judge because not all HOA properties are attached, right? Some of them are detached. Brian Kane, you should not buy a home with an HOA if.
So I'm going to counter back and say that there's lots of reasons to buy a home with an HOA.
Oh, okay.
One of those means if you're somebody who'd rather write a check than get your hands dirty for repairs.
Okay. So you shouldn't buy a home with an HOA if you like getting your hands dirty with repairs.
You got it.
Nicole Hazelton, you should not buy a home with an HOA fee and HOA if.
If you're an environmentalist and there's no system in place for recycling.
Okay. Jason Stewart, you should not buy a home with an HOA if.
You want to paint your home violet.
Did you say name your home violet?
Paint.
Got it.
Paint your home.
John Lieber, you should not buy a home with an HOA if.
You want to work on your broken down car in the driveway.
Yeah, that's for sure. Brian Kane, you should not buy a home with an HOA if.
It's a 3-bedroom and there's only one parking space.
Making sense. Commonsensical. Nicole Hazelton, you should not buy a home with an HOA if.
If there's a pool and you like to skinny dip.
Why not? That sounds like a perfect match to me. I don't know. You buy one.
I must be breaking all the HOA rules then.
There's no pool. I want a skinny dip. Then I'm really out of luck. Jason Stewart, you should not buy a home with an HOA if.
I'll counter and say you should buy a home with a HOA if you're too busy to take care of maintenance, like water your lawn and take care of the roof and things like that. The HOA can be great for certain people.
They sure can. John Lieber, you should not buy a home with an HOA if.
If you want to maximize your purchase price, that HOA is going to bring down the top price you can buy.
Okay. Yep. Last round. Brian Kane, you should not buy an HOA, a home with an HOA if.
You should not buy a home with an HOA if. Am I going to have to pass because I just forgot?
You just passed. Nicole Hazelton.
Had a good point.
You should not buy a home with an HOA if.
I'm going to say something different. And the reason for the mark and the 90-day rule doesn't necessarily mean if you're buying outside of an HOA that you can't vacation rent. So you should check with your city ordinances and you should check with any of the city rules, planning, et cetera.
Well taken. Appreciate it. Jason Stewart, you should not buy a home with an HOA if.
If the HOA is under litigation.
Very, very good point to make there, my friend. Well done. I'm surprised that one stayed on the table for so long. Gosh, I was just dying there.
I would have said the opposite for that.
If it's under 10 years old and hasn't had litigation.
John Lieber, you're last here. You should not buy a home with an HOA if.
From personal experience in a condo, your plumbing problems can affect the people around you and be very costly.
Yeah, true story. All right, coming up on the real estate debate, right here on AM 760 KFMB, we'll have the scores and the lightning round. We'll make you smarter than everyone else. It's guaranteed. Stick around.
Welcome back to the real estate debate with Mr. Credit on AM 760 KFMB.
Welcome back, and thanks for hanging out with us on your Sunday afternoon. Mr. Credit here. You're listening to the real estate debate. JJ, our judge, John Gerotes from Synergy One Lending, give us a score update.
Hey, this is a close one, and I'm looking forward to this next round. We have John at 8 points, Brian and Jason tied at 9, and we have the supermodel at the top, Nicole at 10.
Wow. Okay, so 10, 9, 9, 8. That is a really, really close match right there. It is still anyone's debate. Is anyone's golden microphone trophy. Who will walk away with it today as we start the lightning round? Now, in the lightning round, Nicole will be starting. And as we head toward the holidays, give us your best advice for potential home buyers who might be discouraged or put off by the current state of the market. I talk to them all the time, a whole bunch of different reasons. Talk to our home buyers. Tell them what they should be considering and thinking right now, Nicole. I
would just say don't wait. Inventory is on the mend, prices are rising, and rates are probably going to start going up. Actually, this past week, the Fed's released a statement that the QE3, the quantitative easing purchasing program of assets, is coming to an end, which means that rates could potentially increase. They basically said that the market seems healthy enough overall because of solid job gains and the lowest unemployment rate in 6 years. So if the rates go up, for every 1% increase in rate on a 30-year fixed mortgage, it offsets 10% in price. So if someone's waiting and rates go up just 1% and prices flatline, they would actually be paying 10% more for the property over the term of a 30-year fixed mortgage. Okay. If that makes sense. All right. And so, the crystal ball that you have there is with regard to interest rates then. Mm-hmm. So in other words, in regards to interest rates. If you believe that interest rates will go up, then that works out. But if that's not the case, then that doesn't work out. Right. And unsold inventory is hitting record lows. There's not a lot of options. So we were mentioning there's, anywhere from 3 to 4 months of inventory in San Diego County right now. So if there's a property that comes on the market that might be of interest to a buyer, chances are something like that may not hit the market again in the next 6 months. So if especially for me, I'm working with a couple of clients this year that are selling and buying concurrently. Yeah. And so if a property comes on the market that looks like it might be the right fit, I would say jump on it. And my best advice would just to be flexible. I think the more people are flexible with their current living situation, as long as they're pre-qualified, as long as they're ready to buy and they have purchasing power, they're going to have the best option. All right. That's Nicole Hazelton from Hazelton Associates, your SDHome.com. Talk to me. Mm-hmm. What do you think? Talk to the buyers, Jason. What are the buyers? What should they be thinking right now in the current state of this market, especially the ones who are discouraged by what they've experienced over the past couple months for whatever reason? I've heard a million of them. Right. Well, anyone who's tried to buy within the last year and put it on hold, it's probably because they got frustrated because they couldn't get their offer accepted. And the great thing about the current market, and it'll continue throughout the holidays, probably even more so, is that it's not that difficult to get your offer accepted right now. It's closer to an even playing field. A lot of buyers sit it out. They say, well, it's the holidays. Now's not the time to be looking for homes. It is the time to be looking for homes because a lot of other buyers are thinking the same thing. So the competition is less. So they're out there looking for homes. The homes that are on the market are the ones that need to sell, because the serious sellers keep their homes on the market throughout the holidays. The ones that could, if it sells, it sells. That type of mentality, they take their home off because they don't want to be bothered. The ones that have to sell don't have the option. So they've got less competition. They've got serious sellers out there. And, the inventory isn't super high, but it's better than it was. Okay. So it's the best it's been in a while. Plus, with the interest rates as low as they are, don't get greedy. Interest rates start dropping and people start, well, what if they drop even more? Don't get greedy. They're so low right now. With her statistic of a 1% increase in rates will be a 10% decrease. That means that, if you're looking for a property at $500,000, it's going down to $450 to accommodate that 1% increase. It's huge. Yeah. So good stuff. Jason Stewart, appreciate it. From Stewart, and Stewart Estates and Keller Williams and Eastlake. John Lieber, talk to the buyers right now, especially the ones who've been discouraged recently. I've talked to a bunch of them. They're put off by different things, a whole bunch of different things. Talk to those buyers. Tell them what they should really be thinking about right now. So when I've talked with you before, I come at this with a little bit different angle, more from an investment standpoint. I really like to look at the numbers and see, okay, what kind of return am I getting on a rental? What kind of margin can I make if it's a flip? When I got into this business, I was flipping houses myself, and I moved on and started working with investors. And then I started just more of a traditional business as my real estate practice grew.
And this time of year is our absolute favorite time of year. I mean, this is the time to buy right now. The reason being, if you look at what I was talking about, you had only 2,000 homes, or probably a little over 2,000 homes that are going to sell in October. That's way down from the month prior, and it's down from last year in October as well. So you've got declining volume, you've got increasing inventory, you've got interest rates that are the lowest they've been in a long time. You've got every reason to want to buy right now. And you've got sellers who, if they're on the market, especially as we get closer to Thanksgiving through the new year, they are on the market for a reason, and they probably need to sell. There is a compelling reason for them to get rid of their home.
So motivated sellers.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. That's John Lieber from johnlieber.com and RE/MAX in Coronado. Brian Kane, Keller Williams in La Jolla.
I am so passionate about this topic right now with home buyers, because when somebody calls my office and says, hey, I'm looking to buy a home, I actually ask them, are you looking to buy just one? Are you looking to buy just one? This is the time where folks can actually start to build their wealth. If you look at any wealthy person's portfolio, you're going to find that real estate is a big part of it. In fact, studies done by Merrill Lynch show that the world's wealthy right now, the world's wealthy have almost 38.3% of their wealth in real estate in the United States.
Wow.
And I'll tell you right now, with interest rates where we are, home buyers, it's not always like this. If you look at interest rate trends, I agree with Nicole, interest rate trends are typically in the 7s. If you take the last 30 years and look at where interest rates are, it's almost half of that right now. So not only can you cash flow more easily on investment properties, but you can also fix for 30 years some of the history's lowest interest rates. If you actually look at affordability, now is one of the most affordable times to own a home. If you look back into the 1970s, a loaf of bread was 25 cents, a gallon of gas was under $1. Those things have increased by 400 to 800% in that same time period. If you look at right now, the average home in the United States is about $200,000. With today's interest rate, you're actually paying less per month than you did in the 1970s for that piece of property. So
seriously,
I am extremely passionate about people building their wealth. If you're looking to buy your own personal residence, buy it and then talk to your real estate agent about how you can get into an investment property. The numbers have to be right. John's right. You have to make sure it cash flows. You have to make sure the property supports itself. Don't speculatively buy like what we did, before the crash. Don't buy with just the hopes of appreciation. Make sure that the cash, that the rent support the mortgage. But I am passionate. Buy more than one home. We're all going to look up 10 years from now. And hopefully you guys aren't saying, and we're not all saying, gosh, I wish I would have just bought more real estate back then.
Yeah, a lot of people feel that way. I mean, especially if you talk to someone who bought back in the 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s. If you talk to people who bought at any point of those times, if they sold, they're kicking themselves today. If they held on to it, they've got a nice little permagrin on their face. So that makes a lot of sense. And vacation rentals too have become a really big deal with websites like VRBO, et cetera. It's become a lot easier to market, a vacation rental. So that, idea of being able to get a huge premium for your property is becoming more and more real.
And I could make one more point, and this can not be included with the debate. So, no points on this, but I think it's important for the listeners to really get this concept that if you buy a property, let's say you buy a property for $300,000. Okay, you put a 30-year mortgage on it. The property is cash flow neutral, meaning the rent that you receive takes care of the principal, interest, tax, insurance, management, vacancies. Okay, if you hold that property for 10 years, what is your actually return on your investment? If you hold that property for 10 years and sell it for the exact same price that you bought it for, if you hold it for 10 years, sell it for $300,000, and you've been even cash flow on a 30-year principal and interest payment, what is your return on investment?
Well, the thing is if you could buy that home with an FHA loan at 3.5% down, you put down $10,000 on a $300,000 purchase, and you've got $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 in equity.
John's got it because the tenant over that 10 years has paid down your principal. So even if you buy for $300,000 and 10 years later sell for $300,000, as long as you're cash flow neutral and you have a principal and interest loan, you'll have a 6.7% return on that investment. John got it.
I think the challenge here, especially for the younger buyers, the 24 to 35-year-old, where the trend is all going towards more rentals, more people are renting in that age group. People need to get educated in that age group that it's the time to buy, and that's that's where the people that are a little bit older that have the money to invest can really capitalize right now.
Yeah, if you have
on those
cash.
rental
This guy,
properties.
he left the professional golf circuit to become a real estate investor. This is a smart man.
And that he did, and I can vouch for the fact that he's very, very good. All right, coming up, it's For the Win. We will crown a champion, and we will do Agree or Disagree. When we come back, we'll make you smarter than everyone else. It's the Real Estate Debate on AM 760 KFMB.
Welcome back to the Real Estate Debate with Mr. Credit on AM 760 KFMB.
All right, welcome back to the Real Estate Debate. Mr. Credit here, your host. It is about time to announce a winner. We've got one more segment left. JJ, tell us what the scores are looking like right now.
All right, John, you need a little comeback action here. You got 12 points. Nicole and Jason are tied at 15. And Brian, being passionate, making some very good points in that last segment, is at 18.
Oh, wow. Okay, so Brian has a nice lead here.
And that was my soccer
points.
number in college. So I'm feeling good right
He's feeling really good. Nicole has 15. Jason has 15. And John has 12. All right, it's time for Agree or Disagree.
Time now for Agree or Disagree.
Can't we just settle this over a pint?
Agree
Yes! Yes!
or Disagree.
To call you stupid would be an insult to stupid people!
Let's get it on!
All right. It's time for Agree or Disagree. Jason Stewart, you will be leading off in this final debate topic. It was here, all you have to do is agree or disagree and tell us why with this declarative statement. It was a good idea for Sandicor, which is the local MLS provider, to create its own home search portal, which is online now at sandicormls.com.
You know, I would be neutral on it, but to be honest with you, the other websites that they're using are so bad that it couldn't be worse than what they're seeing with all the fake listings out there that they're getting from Zillow and Trulia. You know, I've got clients that come to me like, I'm ready to buy a home. I'm like, okay, you know, I want a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and I want to stay under 200. I'm like, what area are you looking? No, I saw it on Zillow. It's like, what are you talking about? And so there's a lot of people out there fishing with those websites, putting fake properties. So I think...
So you disagree?
Yeah. I don't think it's too bad of an idea considering the alternatives.
No, so you think it's a good idea?
Yeah, I think it's a good idea that Sandicor did because at least it's going to go off of what's actually on the MLS.
Because it's real numbers, because they are the MLS.
It's real numbers, yeah. It's not the best. I mean, the best situation is that they call us and we provide them with. But you know, everyone's going online and Googling these properties, so they're getting misleading information already.
So they may as well, if they're going to go
They might
somewhere.
as well get accurate. You know, it might not be the best platform for them to get it, but it's better than what most people are using.
Okay, that's a very, very good point, actually. In fact, I would say bonus points on that one. John Lieber, agree or disagree? It was a good idea for Sandicor, the local MLS, to create its own home search portal.
You know, I just have to wonder why they actually did it. You do have actually, I would say, good tools out there. If you look at not necessarily a Zillow or a Trulia that have 2/3 of the market share together now, but if you look at homes.com and realtor.com and a lot of those, you've got really good functional websites that provide much more information than the Sandicor site does. You know, the only benefit you've got is that it actually gives the listing agent's name, but that's it. And is someone that's doing a lot of business, I think most of us are probably advertising on some of the other sites, so I think it provides a better benefit for us to push them either to our own website, to a site where there's some advertising provided, or just sending buyers listings ourselves.
To Sandicor?
Yeah.
Okay, so you agree or disagree? I didn't catch it.
I disagree.
You disagree? So you don't think it was a good idea? Okay.
No.
All right. Brian Kane, agree or disagree? It was a good idea for Sandicor to create its own home search portal.
So I strongly disagree, and I really want to, frame my answer around our listeners who are the consumers, right? Really, as real estate agents, we really all should be consumer advocates, and so this is why I strongly disagree. I truly believe that information should be free. The internet that's there, I think that it's great that consumers have access to the listings. I think there's nothing wrong with that, and so you'd think that maybe I agreed with this, but here's where the issue lies. I disagree with them putting that on there, and this is my same argument for Zillow and Trulia and all the other live portals, is that if I take a listing, if you've hired me to represent you in the sale of your home, I've been to your home, I know all the features and benefits, I understand the value of that particular property. If there's a potential home buyer interested in your home, who do you want Who do you want, talking about that home? You want the agent who's there to represent you to get the highest and best possible price. If consumers are out there looking at properties, and then let's say JJ's advertising on Zillow or advertising on Sandicor to try to get you as a buyer, if you call JJ, he doesn't know anything about the house. He's not there to represent the seller's best interest. And the multiple listing service is there to help the seller get the highest possible price. So in my opinion, as the seller, to protect the seller and getting the highest possible price, I think it's really, really important that if people want the best information, that they're contacting the listing agent. I absolutely believe that buyers should have their own representation. That's fine. But the internet has really inhibited the ability for sellers to have the best marketing out there in contact.
Wow, really passionate answer and really good points made by Brian Kane.
Can I make one point on that one?
Yeah, sure.
In terms of, and I misspoke on advertising on Zillow and some of those sites, but as a consumer, I think you've got more opportunity to look and see who's actually doing business in those areas. Not that you're necessarily going to contact the listing agent, but you can at least see, hey, these 3 buyers agents or these 5 buyers agents that are advertising or their ads showing up, you can see that they've sold 1 house or 10 houses or 50 houses in the last year.
Okay. I do believe in the transparency, and so I agree with you there.
Yeah, I think you guys agree to disagree with this statement. Nicole Hazelton, agree or disagree, and tell us why it was a good idea for Sandicor, local MLS, to create its own home search portal.
I strongly agree, actually.
Okay.
Sandicor's website and the app is something that I use a lot, and I share that app with my clients for searching properties as well, because I agree that the syndicate sites are inaccurate. I was watching a PowerPoint presentation from one of the larger syndicates, actually, that said that they were 20% inaccurate 60% of the time. So I feel like Sandicor, it's real-time live information. It's as accurate as it's going to become. And the beautiful thing about the Sandicor website is it shows the listing agent's contact information. So as of right now, there's no other realtors advertising on that site. Other syndicates do kind of blackmail realtors into paying for advertisement to put their own name on their own listing, which I totally agree with Brian. I think that the listing agent is the one who's going to most accurately answer questions about somebody's home that's on the market.
Yeah.
So I think that the Sandicor site actually validates the importance of using a realtor in this market, because they should be able to get the price online. They should be able to search the addresses. They should be able to find the house. And I think it's awesome because 90% of buyers are online before you even meet them as a realtor. But they should contact their realtor for any additional information that they get on those ancillary sites.
I'll tell you that one other good thing about this, as JJ tallies this up, we determine who wins the Golden Microphone Trophy today, is that you can also look up the agents on there, specifically. You can look up their information because it's tied through Sandicor, which is where you can also search for agents. So you can find out more information about the agent there that's not information that they've created, that's actual information from Sandicor and their licensing. So JJ, it's time to tally them up and see who is the real estate debate champion. Will it be John Lieber with Remax from johnlieber.com, Brian Kane with KW in La Jolla and BrianKaneRealEstate.com? Could it be Jason Stewart with Stewart Estates down in Chula Vista at the East Lake Keller Williams, or Nicole Hazelton with Hazelton and Associates from YourSDHome.com.
Well, I'll tell you what, it was a great debate. Thank you guys for putting so much great information.
Absolutely.
It was a very close one.
Give yourselves a round of applause. Well done.
And, Brian, I congratulate you for being 2-0.
Wow.
Brian Kane takes it.
Wow. Well done, Brian. Good job, man. Well done. So, Brian, you get a chance right now as a winner and the only undefeated real estate debate champion that's still out there on this planet. You've got 60 seconds to tell people why they should go to your website or call you right now.
Sure. I think when you're looking to, buy or sell a property, there's 3 things that matter. It's experience, it's perspective, and it's knowledge. I've personally sold over 750 homes in the last 10 years. Since 2009, I've sold over 100 homes every single year. So if you're really looking for the most experienced, knowledgeable real estate professional who can give you the perspective and the information you need to make a smart decision, not all realtors are the same. To experience the difference, call Brian Kane.
All right. And what's your phone number, Brian?
You can reach me direct at 619-985-5805, or you can email me at briankane@kw.com. That's BRIANCANE@kw.com. And I want to thank you again for having me on the show. It's always a blast.
Yeah. Thanks for coming. You can also find out more at BrianKaneRealEstate.com. Also want to say thanks to John Lieber from johnlieber.com for being here today, Nicole Hazelton from yoursdhome.com for being here today, and for Jason Stewart for stepping up last second. You did a great job, man.
Thank you. Hey, don't forget the show November 14th.
There
Epic
you go.
Fighting.
Epic Fighting, November 14th.
EpicFighting.com. Code EPIC. Get your tickets.
All right, it was a great debate. We appreciate everybody. Of course, our judge, JJ John Gerotes with Synergy One Lending and the New Path program, helping put people in homes who can't get financing elsewhere. You can find out more at AskJJNow.com. Coming up, it's Talking Money with Mr. C right here on AM 760 KFMB. We'll continue to make you smarter than everyone else. It's guaranteed. Stick around.